Welcome to Your Food Looks Funny. I am Marcus T, and today's episode is fast food.
I'm not eating that.
I'm not eating that. All right. So we're back here with another episode. I'm going to talk about some fast food. So there's a interesting story as to why I'm choosing to talk about fast food right now. Chances are I'll get to talking about it for another episode later. But for right now, this is where we're at. Before I get into that, I want to tell you, make sure you check out the social medias, YFLF Podcast on Instagram and Twitter. Also, check out the website, yourfoodlooksfunny.com. And if you're interested, call and let us know what you think about this episode. If you want to answer the picky questions, but definitely talk about this episode. What are your fast food preferences? Call the number 419-77-PICKY or 419-777-4259 for those who actually like the numerical sequence there. But I got a special guest on here. She's special because I married her and she didn't know she was about to be on this episode, but it is my wife. Say hello.
Hello, everybody.
She is here via phone because she is at home and I am not. I'm still down here in South Florida, which has kind of spurred this episode itself. So I'm on the island of Key Biscayne at the moment down here in South Florida. And a harsh discovery that I had to come to grips with was the fact that they have no fast food restaurants on this entire island. They have a Dominoes, but I don't really count that. But we're going to talk about some stuff that actually includes it, unfortunately. I'm not a fan of Dominoes. And if you listen to the pizza episode, I don't think I brought it up that much. It wasn't really my favorite. We just came up with an impromptu topic here based off the fact that I have no fast food within my reach on this island. And I'm kind of going through a little bit of withdrawal. Tamara, we were just talking about this. I just came across an article. So that's where this conversation spurned for all those who are listening. I asked my wife what she thought the top selling fast food restaurants were in America. And these stats are a little bit outdated. I don't have anything current at the moment. These are from 2019. So I know we're in 2021, but this is 2019 sales for fast food restaurants. I asked her, what did she think the top 3 selling fast food restaurants in America were? What did you tell me?
McDonald's, number 1. Number 2, what did I say? Chick-fil-A. And number 3, Chipotle. And I was worried about Chipotle because I'm like, do you consider that fast food? I think it's considered fast food. So those were my top 3. And then I was like, well, if Chipotle is not considered a fast food place, I would do McDonald's number 1. Number 2 would be, I forgot which one I said for number 2. Help me.
I don't remember either. I thought you said Chipotle at number 2. No, you said Popeyes.
So I went back and thought about it again, and I said, number 1, McDonald's, of course. Number 2, Popeyes. And number 3, Chick-fil-A.
First of all, don't be trying to be all professional. It's an impromptu show. We ain't going back and cutting and editing everything. Second of all, yes, she did say Popeyes. Popeyes at number 2. It may be a hit in the black community, but it is not as big a hit in America. All right. So what she did have right, according to this article, which was sales in 2019 in the U.S., McDonald's is number 1 by far. They had $40 billion worth of sales. Unfortunately, number 2 was a place that nobody would think of, which is Starbucks. They're not really known for food. It's coffee. Everybody thinks of it as a drink place. But me knowing working in the kitchen, coffee counts towards food costs. So technically, it's kind of a fast food place and they have little snacks and sandwiches or whatever, but nobody really counts them. So my official number 2 is actually Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A had $11 million in sales in 2019. And number 3, she originally said Chipotle, not sure if it was a fast food place, but it is on this list. It is not in the top 10. Chipotle was not in the top 10 as of 2019. It may be higher now as of 2020 stats or 2021, whatever. But as of 2 years ago, it was not in the top 10. Taco Bell, though. Apparently people love their Mexican food in some capacity or another. But Taco Bell is a hit at 2 a.m. And apparently they out there slinging tacos to the tune of $11 billion in 2019.
That is so surprising, but not surprising. Because I do get down with Taco Bell. I got to give me nacho burrito, nachos taco with the taco supreme on it. Oh my goodness, that's so delicious.
Mm-hmm. I think Taco Bell makes most of their sales and most of their popularity is based off the fact that they just keep reusing the same ingredients in every dish, and then they market to you like it's one new thing that they just came up with. Y'all have had this for the past 30 years. Y'all just been reworking it into new things.
Smart.
I guess. They made $11 million off of it. Somebody getting paid. To round out the rest of this top 10, ironically, it's another company or another restaurant that's owned by the same company. I think Taco Bell and Burger King are owned by the same people. Correct me if I'm wrong there, but I think they're owned by the same people. Anywho, number 5 was Burger King. Number 6 was Subway. Subway. So Burger King, not a lot of Burger Kings where we live in DC area, and I don't see a lot down here either, but apparently they still serving Kings and Whoppers and all kind of stuff, putting way too many toppings on their foods. How do you feel about Burger King?
I rarely eat Burger King, but if I'm going to go to Burger King, I like their big fish sandwich and then the rodeo burger. Those are my two favorite sandwiches from there. I usually just get those because it's so far few in between that I have Burger King that I want those two particular sandwiches. I used to love their French fries, and I do not eat McDonald's at all. Not a little bit, not at all. So for it to be number one, it's like, okay, yeah, I kind of figured that because all of my students love McDonald's, but I do not like McDonald's, so it made me start eating Burger King French fries.
I'm not eating that.
It's ironic that I have her on the show and I can cue a button that also has her voice on it. But anywho.
But it's true.
Yeah, the road, when we take a road trip, whenever we pass a Burger King, I get a little excited just because I can get that Rodeo King sandwich. Usually I'm a little bit too full after I've eaten it, but it's worth it.
Yeah, but they've made that sandwich be like a double and triple patty or something too. Crazy big.
Yeah, that sandwich be huge. Yeah, but Subway. We have Subway every now and then, but Subway, I know they've been making money for a long time. Ever since the days of Jared, they're the only other franchise. So there were 6 franchises that were above $10 billion in sales. Subway, Burger King, Taco Bell, Chick-fil-A, Starbucks, and McDonald's. And then you start getting into the slightly lesser than. One of my personal favorites at number 7, Wendy's. Wendy's.
Yes, that is your favorite for sure.
Oh yeah, good Ohio staple right there. Yeah.
I didn't used to eat Wendy's until I met you. It was not one of my go-to places at all. Like I said, I liked Burger King, but I always got the same thing. And I actually really, really, really liked Subway. So Chipotle is like my life. I love Chipotle, and I've always loved Chipotle. So Subway and Chipotle were definitely very high for me. I don't really do Wendy's, and I didn't until I met you. So now I do.
Yeah, I know we're working with out-of-date stats here, but I'd be very interested. Hopefully by next week's episode, I will have found where Chipotle ranked as of the end of last year. I wonder how they made it through the majority of the pandemic year, because a lot of people were set up for this with drive-thrus and stuff, and Chipotle's don't typically have a drive-thru like that. So I wonder how they made out in sales, even though they weren't able to have the same volume of people that they normally would.
Right. I totally didn't think about the drive-thru part. They definitely don't have that.
Yeah. You would think, and again, this all started with the fact that the island I'm on does not have fast food restaurants. A lot of upscale restaurants here that I don't feel like eating at. Look, I'm from a small town. I just want to be able to go down the street and pick which bright yellow and red sign I want to eat at. That's what I want to go to.
And speaking of, I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
I sent you that post today about fast food places having signs that say their workers are not being there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought that was so amazing and, honorable for people to do, but scary all at the same time to not, be working. But it's powerful if you're making a statement some of those signs said like, they're being overworked. They've been open the whole time during the pandemic and things like that. So, what are your thoughts?
So let me tell you, right after you sent me this, I actually went and researched it because I've been seeing it on social media. And, social media takes a handle of everything and runs with it. So I don't know how big or small these things can be. Maybe they just went viral for no reason. But when I looked it up, an article actually came up from 2014, so 7 years old, that they had did this same thing in a bunch of major cities, striking to get a minimum wage of $15. I didn't realize that this had happened recently in the last decade where people were trying to get their minimum wage raised. And on this show, we don't do a lot of political talk, but in this case, we're talking fast food. And this is a major thing kind of happening at the moment with the pandemic we're in and people, fighting to get jobs and money and staying healthy at the same time. These people are really adamant. And it's not just fast food workers. It's anybody working a minimum wage that's trying to sustain life outside of the normality. So some might have more kids, some might have less, some might have doctor bills and things like this, and they just need to sustain a normal life. So making, I think the government average minimum wage is like $7 and something, $7.50 or something like that. Who can live off this? I mean, there's more sides of this, obviously. And like I said, I don't want to lean too political on this. So you can acquire more skills in some fashion to get a better job, or, sometimes the job you're working, you're just underpaid. And that may be some of the situations that these people are in. Ultimately, it would just raise the entire economy and we would have another fight on our hands later. But the fact that fast food workers have to demand that what they're doing in this time, because a lot of these fast food places are now understaffed, which is what's causing the uproar. So they're working harder for the same amount of money they were working for before. So imagine working at a McDonald's or Chick-fil-A or something, and you were working there before the pandemic and you were making a certain amount of money. So if you were making government minimum, $7.50 or something like that, and then after the pandemic, you got 20 to 25% less staff, and now you got to work the same amount and maybe cover somebody else's station or duties or something like that. Everybody always has that moment where they're like, look, we need help. And I think that's just the point, or the part that a lot of people are getting to at this point is we need help, or we need more support financially or something. And that's what's causing this, because they said they're getting ready to strike or something next week, right? For a whole day.
Yeah. I was just like, wow. And I didn't realize it. I mean, I haven't seen it around here. We live in a fairly big city. So I'm not seeing it, but I'm also not going around to fast food places. But I thought that was very interesting.
Yeah, I think DC was on the list of one of the cities. So May 19th, maybe? I think that was the day. So be vigilantly watching if you plan on having fast food on May 19th. If anything is happening in your area, and then, listen to the people, listen to what they want. And, if there's any way you can help, try to be helpful or not. Again, not trying to be political on here. Back to the fast food list, as we kind of diverted there for a little bit, but it's all good. We were at number 7, which was Wendy's, just under 10 billion. The next one was Dunkin Donuts. Dunkin Donuts. They be slinging coffee too.
Yes, they are, but they sling good breakfast food. I know.
Dunkin Donuts. I know. Yeah, it's many mornings I'll wake up and be like, you got a sandwich in there? Like, from where? Like Dunkin Donuts? Of course it's from Dunkin Donuts.
They're big and tasty and so good.
Mm-hmm. They got eggs on them too.
I'm not eating that.
I tell them no eggs for you.
Sure you do. Thanks.
I do.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
I know you don't like eggs.
I know. I appreciate it though. Thank you. Number 9. We were talking about this at the top of the show with pizza places. The top pizza place on this list, Domino's.
Seriously?
Number 9, Domino's Pizza.
What? Not Papa John's?
No. We love Papa John's in the house, but again, that's our preference. Apparently, Domino's be shipping out pies like that. I didn't know that.
I would have never thought of Domino's as a top 10, like at all. Not even for pizza places. It's wow.
Only pizza place in the top 10, Domino's.
Wow, that's very shocking.
Matter of fact,
do you like Domino's pizza?
I don't think I've had Domino's in over a decade.
I mean, I've had it, but it's not like I've had it probably right before the pandemic because we would order it at work. They would have it for like, pizzas for staff member days or things like that. But it's nothing to like jump out of your skin for or anything.
Yeah. Nah, I'm good. Skipping past Domino's because I don't care about y'all. Sorry if you want to do a sponsorship later in life. I didn't say that. But number 10 to round out the top 10 was Panera Bread. Panera Bread.
I like Panera. It wouldn't be in my top 10, but I like Panera. They have some good salads. I enjoy their salads a lot. Their handhelds are good too. They got some good stuff, but I wouldn't have put them in no top 10.
The way you just described it is why it's number 10. Like it's there, but it ain't there. Like you're like, oh yeah, I like you did the trail off. Yeah, I like it, but it's that's the sound of it falling down to the bottom of the list right there.
I'm so mad that Chipotle was not in the top 10.
It was just barely outside. It's at number 11. So I'll quickly read off the next 10 and we'll stop there. So let's start with the top 10 for the review. All right. McDonald's was at 1, Starbucks at 2, Chick-fil-A at 3, Taco Bell at 4, Burger King at 5, Subway at 6, Wendy's at 7, Dunkin Donuts at 8, Domino's at 9, Panera Bread rounding out the top 10. And then Chipotle slides right in at number 11. Right in there. So again, this was 2 years ago. If you didn't catch that at the beginning of the show, these are from 2019 stats. I still believe Chipotle was pretty popular at that point. Maybe not to the popularity that it is now. And they throwing out quesadillas and stuff. So they probably have flipped with Taco Bell at this point in 2021, as far as I know. But, Taco Bell still be slinging them Doritos tacos like they nothing. So maybe they both in the top 5 now. I'll confirm with that. If you know, give the phone, give the phone. I'm really working with this one here. Anyways, give the show a call, 419-77-PICKY. That's 419-777-4259 to let us know where Chipotle is at nowadays. All right. I'll make sure I have that answer on the next one. Somebody remind me. I know one person that will. To round out the rest of the top 20, we're talking Pizza Hut. So we got another slide in there. Pizza Hut is the second pizza place on the list. KFC at 13. So let me go back. That's the second categorized chicken joint on here. Chick-fil-A was at number 3. Sonic Drive-In was at number 14. I am disgusted by that.
I'm not eating that.
Only their ice cream and stuff is possibly edible. Arby's at 15. Little Caesars Pizza at 16. I know they be slinging them $5 hot and readies. Panda Express at 17. That's finally some more global places coming up in there. Dairy Queen at 18. Blizzards be flying out. Popeyes slides in at number 19.
Really?
Right.
That's so far down.
Hey.
They've been slanging them chicken sandwiches.
Hey, but this was before the chicken sandwiches, though. Remember, this is 2019, so I think they had just gone viral like the end of that year. So that might be 3 billion of their 3.75 billion from that year is just in chicken sandwiches alone, which I just need to do a complete episode on chicken sandwiches itself. So stay tuned for that one. And Jack in the Box at number 20, and I don't even know if we have those in our area. That's like a West Coast and South thing, as far as I know.
I don't think I've had that. I was thinking of somewhere else in Atlanta that wasn't Jack in the Box.
Nah, Carl's Jr. or something like that?
Mm-mm.
No? Okay. Is there anybody on this list that you were surprised were as high or as low as they were?
I'm surprised that Chipotle is not higher. I'm surprised that any pizza place is not higher than Domino's. I mean, I am very, very surprised behind Chipotle because, thinking about Taco Bell, yeah, okay, that makes way sense. That is all the way at the top. That makes a whole lot of sense. But Chipotle, though, just hurt my feelings. And I get the whole Popeyes. Like, everybody doesn't necessarily like fried chicken, so I get it. But Chipotle, it's the bomb. I just love Chipotle, and I know a lot of people do. So I'm curious to see what the new numbers are for 2020. I would assume that 2021 probably isn't out, but at least 2020.
Right.
I think so. There's a few of them that I wouldn't, like Dairy Queen. I don't think that, I love ice cream, but I don't consider that like a food. So like, I've never really ate their food there, so I don't know if it's good or not. Like, how does that make the list? Kind of weird.
I mean, they selling a lot of blizzards. I mean, they coined that. They've been slinging blizzards for a long time. They sling blizzards about as much as Ohio does in the middle of April.
You have a snowstorm.
Yeah. Yeah. I am, like you said about Domino's, I'm very surprised that Domino's is the top pizza joint on here. And other than that, everything else seems like it kind of falls in the line where I would expect it to. When I go past number 20, like I can go all the way down to number 50, but I'm not gonna do it. It's just a bunch of, okay. Like you talked about Panera Bread, like, yeah. All right. But Wendy's, me personally, Wendy's got to slide up there. McDonald's can just get kicked off. That's desperation food. But
Agreed.
Wendy's, you got to go for the home state. That's the only time I'm rooting for something from Ohio is Wendy's.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of McDonald's. I will get a blizzard from them. I mean, what is it called? A McFlurry, but I do not like McDonald's.
That's a knockoff blizzard. That's my point right there. That's where they stealing Dairy Queen sales right there.
True.
McFlurry. And they get mad. They get mad at Mr. McDowell on Coming to America, talking about his golden arcs. Look here, y'all been stealing stuff for years.
This is true.
But again, if y'all want to do a sponsorship, I didn't say all this stuff. I didn't really mean it. Anywho, do you have another food that I haven't talked about on here that you don't like that most people do? Can you name one?
Jello.
Jello. I guess we'll count that. I've talked about a lot of your other stuff. I'm not a big fan of Jello either. I don't know who's had Jello recently. Has anybody had Jello recently? Please tell me.
I mean, obviously, I don't like dressing, or is it stuffing? Whichever.
It just depends on where it's located, inside or outside.
I don't eat either. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's okay.
I'm not eating either.
More for me. And have you tried anything recently that's new?
When I was in Fort Lauderdale, I had mahi fish.
Right. So nice. They named it twice.
It was so good. I really, really, really liked it. And I have become a guacamole girl. I'm late to the party, but it was very delicious mixed together. They had those really good fish tacos. Oh, they were so good. Mm-hmm. That was my new food, and I loved it.
Yeah, you are a little late to the party. Come on.
And there was something else. I can't think of what it was called.
We don't need you to name the whole menu. I just need one thing here. You're getting a little excited there. Didn't mean to cut you off, but I didn't want to take this episode too long. We want to leave you with more material. You are the inspiration to the show, hence the phrase.
I'm not eating that.
I thank you for coming on this impromptu. Like I said, I dragged her on at the last second. And when I say the last second, I meant, hey, what are you doing right now? You're going to be on the show. Is literally what I said.
Yes.
I appreciate you coming on, filling some time here. It's always great to talk food with you because you don't eat most of it. And that makes for an interesting topic every time we talk about. Leading out, everybody, again, make sure you're following the social medias. YFLF Podcast on Instagram is the main place to check us out. YourFoodLooksFunny.com. Also, if you want to call into the show, tell us about what fast food places that you like, what places you don't like. Anything you just want to say about the show, call the number. Leave a message. Might be played on the show. 419-77-PICKY, 419-777-4259. Thank you guys for listening. If you get a chance to start a franchise, tell them to bring one down to this island. And I'll see y'all next week.